Blossom here. Today I'm going to make one of my favorite rasam recipes. This is actually not the normal recipe that I make always because that's another pepper rasam which I'll share later. So let's start. I've soaked some tur dal. I soaked it for like 15 minutes in warm water. That's what I do when I forgot to soak any lentils. I soak it in some warm water and I keep it for like 10 minutes while I chop the garlic and ginger and stuff. To this, I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic just chopped and 1 whole tomato which I've just cut into 4s because it's going to get cooked in the cooker and it'll become mushy anyway. So I didn't bother chopping it into small pieces. I'm going to put some turmeric powder. It's like 1/4 of a teaspoon and 2 heaped teaspoons of rasam powder. Now this rasam powder is homemade. So if you want the recipe, please let me know. I'll share it with you guys. Next, I'm going to add some sesame oil. If you've noticed when you cook dal, there's a lot of water that splutters out and it messes up the whole cooktop and the cooker lid and stuff. So what I do is by adding this oil into it, the froth doesn't happen in the cooker while it's bubbling. So it saves a lot of time cleaning up. Some salt to taste. I don't add a lot of salt while cooking dal because after that, if in case it's less, I can always add more. So I add just a little bit just to help the dal cook faster. So now mix this well and you can add a little extra water here. There's no hard and fast rule on how much you're going to add while the dal cooks because anyways while making the rasam you're going to add more water. I had washed the dal, so that is why I used the water which I had soaked dal in. I didn't dispose that because there are lots of nutrients in that water as well. That had almost 1 cup of water. Now I added half of this cup and that's it. I'll cook this for 2 whistles because the dal was already soaking in hot water. It has already started cooking. I'll cook this for 2 whistles and then I'll get back to you. While the cooker is cooling down, I'm going to crush some spices so that we can season it and then get the rasam ready. Here I've taken 1 teaspoon of cumin, around ½ teaspoon of peppercorns, whole peppercorns, 1/8 teaspoon, basically like a pinch of methi seeds or fenugreek seeds, just 1/8 of a teaspoon of ajwain or carom seeds. It's a very strong spice, so be very careful. If you don't like it, you can always omit it. It's not a must that you need that. I've already put garlic while the dal was getting cooked, but I'm still going to put some more garlic. And this is another 2 cloves of garlic that I've cut into small pieces and ½ an inch of ginger I've cut into small pieces as well. I'm going to crush it all together now. So I've taken another vessel now and I've heated it up slightly. Now I'm pouring oil in it, around 1 tablespoon of oil. And to that, once the oil gets hot, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds. As you can see, the mustard seeds are crackling now. I'm going to add some asafoetida, some curry leaves, 3 green chili slips, and the crushed masala that we just made. Now I always crushed in mortar and pestle. You can always put it in the mixie. First of all, the quantity is very less. You'll have to add water if you want to crush it properly because the jar will be obviously bigger once you start getting the aroma of the spices that you added. A little bit of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Now you can actually reduce the heat because this tends to burn quickly. The turmeric is cooked well. So what I do is sometimes the dal, even though it is cooked, it will still be in big pieces or chunks. And even the tomato, we didn't cut it into small pieces, so it'll be in big chunks. So what I do is I just take this, I don't know what this gadget is called. You get this in every store, I think, in India. I got this from India and it becomes a liquid. Now to this I add the dal mixture. When I put the dal to soak, I put this lemon sized amount of tamarind and I soaked it in warm water as well and kept it aside. As you can see, tamarind that we get here does not have a lot of pulp. So if we put just in normal water, you don't get much of the tamarind pulp out of it. So what I do is I put it in hot water so it quickens the process of soaking as well as you get more of the tamarind because it's pretty dry that you get here. So now I'm adding it to the rasam. I know I've added tomato, but the tomato does not give the sourness as much as the tamarind does. This you can add how much ever you want because some people don't like very sour rasam. Add salt to taste because we have already added salt to the dal, but if salt is less, add salt and then put a lid on it and let it come to a nice boil and then garnish with coriander leaves. So while it's bubbling, I just put the stalks of the coriander leaves. I don't put the coriander coriander leaves right now, just the stalks of it, and I let it boil as well. The essence of the rasam increases and it gets tastier. So as you can see, the rasam is coming to a nice boil. I put off the heat and I add the coriander leaves freshly chopped, put the lid back on, and that's it. This is the rasam ready. Only the prep work takes around 5 minutes. Other than that, this recipe is really very easy and it's very tasty with hot rice and a little dollop of ghee. So that's it, guys. This is the rasam ready. Please do try this recipe, and I have served this with ghee and the potato recipe that I've already shared. Until next time, bye.